Good afternoon, everyone. Happy New Year, happy 2020, and happy end to Be Like Ben, the 52-week challenge to live one entire year as Ben Franklin would. For now, let's just focus on the fourth and final quarter. I'll focus on the year as a whole in a following video. I started quarter number 4 visiting a couple of important sites that were very relevant to Ben Franklin's life. I was up in Boston, where I visited where he was born, 17 Milk Street. Now there's a skyscraper, but they were kind enough and courteous enough and responsible enough to commemorate where he was born with a giant bust of his head, and it says birthplace of Franklin. Ooh, I love it. And not too far from there, there's the Ben Franklin statue in front of the Boston Latin School, which is where Ben studied for 2 years. And only 2 years. That's all the education the man received. Yet he became the Renaissance man of colonial America. Isn't that crazy? In terms of literature, I read Young Ben Franklin by Nick Bunker. It's no Walter Isaacson. I hate comparing the two, but this takes into account a lot of things that Walter Isaacson did not. It's a different writing style, but it's still a worthwhile read. Not many people consider Ben's younger years because not quite a lot happened during those years. It was worth it. It was worth reading this book while I was up in Ben's stomping grounds. Not a bad deal. Ben was also a big philanthropist. In fact, many people argue that he started the trend of what we now know as the American style of philanthropy. And it just so happens that myself and 25 others are collaborating to help out this local organization here in my county called Monica's House. They do the very difficult but very necessary job of helping out kids who have been physically, sexually, emotionally, psychologically abused and giving them a voice in court against their perpetrators. Wow. We are trying to raise a total of $26,000. And after being inspired by Ben, I went all in. I have plans to reach out to several businesses and organizations this coming January, or this January is already January. I'm going to try to go above and beyond my $1,000 quota. See what happens. For Ben! Now, let's see what the numbers have to say. As you can see, this has been the best of the 4 quarters, considering that I only have one red square for Awakening on week 42. But besides that, I broke all the other virtues no more than 3 times per any given week. The best virtue being humility, broken only 4 times, and the worst virtue being awakening. Again, it has consistently been my worst virtue to wake up. Well, looks like I figured out my New Year's resolution. Rise with the sun. But anyways, from best to worst, we have humility, broken 4 times, justice 9 times, resolution 11, frugality 12, sincerity 12, cleanliness 13, attention 14, stoicism 15, sex transmutation 18, industry 19, education 20, temperance 20, awakening 30. The most improved, justice, which was broken 8 times less than the previous quarter. And the worst improved was sincerity. I lied or stretched the truth 4 times more than the previous quarter. Oops. In total, the virtues were only broken 197 times. 197 times this entire quarter. You know, I stopped counting after week 52 because, well, okay, it's 2020. The challenge is over. But I felt that something was missing out of my life. I started doing some unvirtuous things. I was being grumpy. I just woke up very late today. I wasn't being fair to people. I just today I didn't do something that I said I would. That's a break on resolution. I might just for the sake of habit, I might just continue keeping track of Ben's virtues on my phone. I like the habit. It will really keep me true to living like Ben, not just for 2019, but for indefinitely. But yeah, I like the experience. I like this quarter. But next video, I am going to talk about what living like Ben for 1 year was like. 2019 was a year of amazing personal growth for me. I really couldn't have done it without the aid of being inspired by Brother Ben himself. And with that I say, have a good year, take care, kick ass.